Unit 8, Lesson 4. Here we go. It's me, Miss Billman. We're looking at the homework. This talked a lot about mean and how we can use the mean to describe data. So, in Miss Jackson's class, or her language arts class, the mean of the 9 weekly test scores determines the quarterly grade. So, what is the sum of LaToya's 8 scores? I'm going to add them in pairs. So, 100 plus 96 equals 196. 90 plus 95 equals 185. 95 plus 100 is 195. And 88 and 98 is 186. I'm going to add these up to find the sum. I must have my sum in order to find the mean. Now, there are ways where we work backwards and we kind of channel our inner Unit 5 expressions and equations, and we can do that, which is fine. But in this case, if I want to start with my sum and then divide, I got to have that total. So my total is 762. Next question. What must the sum of LaToya's 9 scores be for her to earn an average of 95? Explain your answer. So I'm going to write this as an expression. So my S, that's what I'm missing, right? That's the sum. And my S divided by 9, she wants an average of 95. So I need to do the inverse operations and multiply by 9. When I multiply by 9, that cancels out the middle, and then I multiply by 9 and get 855 as my total score. So if she wants an average of 95 on all 9 of the weekly tests, she wants an average of 95 overall for the quarter due to the 9 weekly tests, she needs to have a total of 855 points earned. Now you'll see there's a big difference between the 855 that she's after and the current 762. Well, we're going to use that in question C to help find what she actually has to have. So, what is the minimum score LaToya must earn for the final test to have an average score of 95 for the quarter? Explain. So, I'm going to look at that total of 855. If she gets 855 points over the entire quarter, that means she will have earned a 95 because that's the average over these 9 quizzes. I'm going to take the 855 and subtract 762. That's her current total. I'm left with 93. That 93, that's the score she must earn on that final weekly quiz to secure a 95 as an answer for her quarterly grade. I used to do this when I was in college to figure out what kind of score I would have, or of course my GPA, because that was important to me. So when I'm doing this, I kind of have to think backwards. I'm thinking with the end in mind. If this is my goal, this is what I have to have. It can sometimes be tricky, and I do suggest having a whiteboard or a piece of paper to write your work on. You don't want to have to just do this all in your head. But like I'm writing here, she needs a 93. To earn a 95 for the quarter, LaToya needs to earn 93 more points. That's to hit that 855. So we're using the table to the right. The number of students enrolled at 2 middle schools is shown at the table to the right. Ford School has 1 class at each grade level, so they have a total of 3 classes. And Carter School has 2 classes at each grade level. So when it says Carter School, 41 kids, well, that's over 2 classes. So using our special words, we are going to explain how to find the average number of students per class at each school. I'm going to have to find the sum of Ford and of Carter. Now, Ford, I will divide by 3 because they only have 1 6th grade, 1 7th grade, 1 8th grade. But Carter, I will add those all together and divide by 6 because they have 2 6th grades, 2 7th grades, and 2 8th grade classes. If I didn't do that, if I just added Carter and divided by 3, their number would be pretty large because if you see, they have more people in their 6th grade group, but we're not taking into account that that's split over 2 different classes. So we're going to calculate the mean number of students per class at each school. We will write our answers in sentences that explain what the mean represents. So I need to add 21, 19, and 20. That's a total of 60. I do 60 divided by 3 because that's the number of students or classes at the school. So Ford School has a mean of 20. That means that they have an average of 20 students per classroom. Now, Carter School, and you'll probably hear Graham in the background. He has the squeakiest toy of all time. Carter School has 41, 36, and 37. So I add those together, and I get a total of 114. This time I'm going to divide the 114 by 6 because there are 6 classes, because there are 2 6th grade, 2 7th grade, 2 8th grade. I'm going to divide that by 6, and I actually get a total of 19. So even though there are more classes at Carter School, there are actually less students per class, which is, kind of crazy to think about, because at first glance in that table, it definitely does not look that way. So Ford has a mean of 20. So that means that they have an average of 20 students per class. Carter, I think I totally messed up on here. Carter has an average of 19. That means that they have at least an average of 19 students per class.